I want to follow my mentor, Dr. Kusana. I don't want to go there. All right, so let's plan. So retirement planning. Basically, we are looking at your inflows and your outflow. When you retire now, what will be your sources of inflow? Your pension amount, investment returns. Have you created an asset that will give you that return? You have to create it now so that when you retire, that asset can give you returns. If you've not started, please, as fast as possible, you have to start. Part-time work, business. I mean, you can have a tall list depending on what you are doing now. When you retire, 3 options. You either continue to work for money or you allow your money to work for you, or you strike a balance between the two. If you want to continue to work for money, it means you continue to be an employee, so you can get some other work where they will pay you monthly salary or any other thing. Or, yes, post-retirement contracts. It's also there. Or you allow your money to work for you, where you create assets over a period of time. When you retire, that assets will be giving you periodic returns. That is when we say your money is working for you, passive income. You don't really have to participate in that activity, but you still get the returns. Or you strike a balance between the two. You do something, you still earn some passive income, then you enjoy your pension or retirement period. Then the outflows, health, travel. But I'm saying that use your current budget as a base. So look at your current budget. If only you have one. So look at your current budget. Ask yourself, are you going to pay school fees when you retire? Are you going to pay rent when you retire? So these are the questions you ask yourself, and you plan towards it. Yes, it could be that you didn't start early, and so your children will be in school by the time you retire. What it means is that you will have to put in place some measures now, so that when you get there, you don't have to struggle. It is not wrong that you are paying school fees when you retire, but how are you going to pay that? That is very important. So what it means is that you have to start planning now. You have to put together some assets that is going to pay off at that time for you. You can borrow 200,000, pay it off in 5 years, invest that 200,000 in some good, reliable investment, just for that child. Somebody said haircuts. Example, eh? Oh, so so I said, you can, now banks are giving loans at a moderate rate. Let me use UGOS, GUSS loan. We are doing 20%. So, but our loan, there are no administrative charges, there are no insurance fees. If you go out there, they'll give it to you at 17. You pay administrative charge 1.5, you pay insurance 1, you end up 20. But what we are saying is that you can still go out there. Some people are doing 17, whatever. My motive here is that plan towards your retirement. Take your budget. If you anticipate that your children are young such that when you retire in 10 years, they will still be in school. Maybe your child will be at the university doing medicine. Start anticipating. Now they are paying about 15 or 20,000. I don't know. Maybe registrar is there will help me. But by that time, they will be paying 50,000. So you will have to plan now. You will have to set aside some funds towards that time. So if you want to borrow and invest, or you want to grow a fund towards that, what is important is that you plan towards that time. That is what is important. Once you want to plan, you get somebody to help you to plan. In most cases, it's not about the literacy. It's about the behavior. The will to do is what is important. If you spend everything now, you get there and the money is not enough. In fact, I came up with a typical senior assistant registrar, their salary. Look at the basic. So look at the basic and look at the allowances. You will see that the allowances is far more than the basic. What it means is that you are eating your eggs now, because pension, we will only use your basic to calculate your pension. All the allowances have no effect on your pension. And so if you are planning, you will have to start now. By the time you go on retirement, you have little. And so if you are going to pay fees from it, you are going to pay rent, you are going to pay all that, then that will be very, very, very dangerous. So let's start now. The next one, so based on that, the senior assistant registrar, using a senior assistant registrar, I was trying to compute the pension. So this is under superannuation, where you are doing enhanced. You know, superannuation, you are paying 25% of your basic. And so whatever you get is an enhanced pension. Even with that, using the formula, the full pension is 8467.97, and the residual pension is 6350.98. What I want to project here, in most cases, we don't take the full pension. Full pension is when you are telling superannuation that I'm going on pension. I don't want you to give me any lump sum. When I go on pension, spread everything that is due me and pay me monthly. That is the full pension. Residual pension is when you tell superannuation that give me 25% of all that is due me. Let me chop it now. Then the remaining 75, spread it over the 20 years for me, and I'll take it monthly. And in most cases, we all do the residual, which is good. But the truth is that if you use the residual pension, 6350.98, look at somebody who was taking, about 14,000. The allowance is 14 and the basic is 9. So given all that, the loans and everything, let's assume the person is even taking 12,000 at the end of the month or 10,000 at the end of the month. The person tomorrow goes on pension and is taking 6,350. And if you've not planned for your pension, what happens to you? Depression. Then you call Dr. Kizzy. I'm not feeling good. Then they'll give you some medications. The truth is that per our salary structure, our pension amount is not good. Please plan your pension now. Plan something aside what is mandatory and will be given to you. Set aside some money towards your pension. Make sure you have a budget. Make sure you have a contingency fund. contingency fund. Hello, I hope you have one. So contingency fund is all about setting some money aside. And that one, you don't have to wait when you go on pension. As workers, you set some money aside. Always ask yourself, what if Madam 31st, or you don't get your money on 31st? What happens? I do say that the difference between a beggar and a salaried person who lives on paycheck to paycheck is your 1 month salary. Because if that month you don't receive salary, you will become a beggar. So as much as possible, you should get a contingency fund. And how do you create a contingency fund? You will have to do a budget for a period of time. Know how much you need for your family to survive a month. Know how much you will need for your family to survive. So we have needs, we have wants. So identify the needs and how much it will take for your family to live well in 1 month. Create a buffer for 3 months. That becomes your contingency fund. And when you have that money, please put it in a safe investment. Fantifu today, bibi de tokrano. Wakado de tokrano, you can easily reach out for it. So if you are able to raise that 3 months buffer, you keep it in an investment that is safe. You decide where to go, but what is important is that you have some money set aside for contingency purpose. And that aside, then you can also create assets that will give you economic returns when you retire. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so when I did the first one for somebody on superannuation, I was also looking at somebody on SNIT. So the same senior assistant registrar, you know, SNIT, they use your best 3 years average. And so the assumption was that salary increase was 10% for the 3 years. And so if it's 10% for the 3 years, it means your 2024 basic was 7811. Your 2025 is 8678, and your 2026 is 9643. That is the assumption I was making. So it gives you an average salary of 8711. And your pension rights is the number of years you have contributed to SNIT. The highest is 60% per the acts, the pensions act, the SNITs, their acts. And given 23 years, the pension right was 46.5. And so somebody on SNIT, a senior assistant registrar with a basic of 9643, and all the allowances we showed, is now going to earn a pension amount of about 4,000. And so if you don't plan, it becomes a challenge. As much as possible, let's plan our pension. What do you want to do when you retire? Look at your budget. What are the things that will still be there when you retire? How are you going to take care of them? It's very important. So the question is, what is your expected pension amount? Is that amount enough? If it's not, start now. If it's not, start now. And so one area you can also go into is to go into entrepreneurship. Start something. You start nurturing a business now. When you get there, by the time you retire, that business will be big for you too. But when you are doing a business, please, when you look on your current budget, for example, the school fees, don't use that money for business, please, as much as possible. Because when we talk of returns, we also talk of risk. Risk goes with returns. Business venture is riskier compared to maybe treasury bill and those things. So when the money is for a specific purpose, as much as possible, don't use it for don't venture into a riskier venture. As much as possible, go into investment that you are assured of the returns. Then you can go into business for other income. And I believe when you do that, it will help. I'm trying to stay within my 15 minutes. So why choose entrepreneurship? And it's not only about the money. Sometimes it's the passion. Something you love so much and you want to go into it. You want to start something. Not just because of the money, but you want to do that just for your own love, the love you have for that thing. Then the flexibility and control. Financial support comes in. And also you want to be engaged whilst you are on retirement. You don't want it to be that at age 60, UCC says bye-bye to you, and now you are in the house. In the morning, 8 o'clock, you don't know where to go. Sometimes it can be, it can be a problem. You are used to getting up, going to the office early. Today you got up and it's like you don't have any place to go. You don't feel like sleeping again, so you want to do something. So you can nurture something. By that time, that will engage you, and you are always... Then as a legacy, you want to start something that you believe that when it's well established, it will be your legacy for your family. So the advantage is that you have experience. You have experience. So you can do something. You have the networks. If given Sir Felix, if he wants to start a business, look at the network. That yes, the business will be a boom. Yes. So as much as possible, we can start something. Then you also have capital. In most cases, we want our SS leavers and our investor leavers to start something. They don't have the capital, but you are able to get some capital because of what you are doing. And you also have the wisdom and the patience to nurture that business. Some of the common ventures you can go into: consulting, coaching, passion project, e-commerce. Sometimes within your community, you realize that there's something lacking. The aim is to solve a need, but it will become a business for you. So let's look at that one as well. Then a non-profit or mission-driven business, we can also do that. And the realistic hurdles, risks and return, as said. Whatever you are doing, it is giving you returns, but there's risk as well. So let's be mindful. Work-life balance. Then financial planning, identity shift. Sometimes, yes, you are the big boss here. The next time you are seen as doing your own business and you are down there, that identity shift, sometimes when you work at it, it helps. The way forward. Before you retire, we are saying that create assets that will give you some returns in the future. Build a balanced portfolio. Don't invest everything in one area. I think in the Bible, Deuteronomy, it says don't put everything in one. Yes, the Lord admonishes us to do that. As much as possible, make sure that you go in here, you also have something different and you are doing. Find a comfortable place of abode. Maintain good health. Create good relationships. Relationships matter. Then, after retirement, we are saying that consolidate your investments, maintain good health, reduce dependence, and maintain relationships. I will end here, then after we take questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Going on pension or retirement, how prepared are you? I believe with this exposure, you have jotted one or two things down, and then we are going to move from that. We have the next discussion, or the next eye-opener, and it's all about legalities. All these things that we have discussed, there are legalities attached to them. And we are privileged to have one of our lawyers to educate us, give us information. Then at the end of the day, we are going to move with it. An applause as Mr. Solomon Jesse. Welcome.
Yes, the law is the law. Good afternoon, seniors and colleagues. Yes, so I am very grateful to leadership of GAUA for inviting me to come and do a presentation on legalities. It's already here. On the topic, legalities. Okay. Yeah. Legalities in administration and stakeholders engagement. Now, personally, I have observed something in the university education. When I was at the law school about 15 years ago, one of the things we do as law students was, after we had been exposed to the law, we are asked to read case law. That's the live cases that went to court, and there's the judgment. And so that's the application of the law. And I don't remember reading many cases that were either taken against the university or university taken against a third party. So in the past, the university campuses were well organized, and that was the time I think it was properly so-called an autonomous institution. So things were being done at the university campuses without going to court. But is that the case today? Today, every other day and any university in Ghana, you have one case or the other pending in court. And I tell you, the judges, not all of them know the way the universities run their systems. They don't know. And sometimes when they are giving their decisions, you clearly see that they are at pains and they have to do one, they go this way or go that way. And why this trend? It is so because I think for the past 30 years or more, we have experienced democratic rule. And people are becoming well awake with their rights. And so we live in an era where our stakeholders, everybody, knows something small about the law. And so when you infringe on his right, he will not sit down, unlike those days. He will go to court. And so that accounts for many of the litigations we have in court against the universities. And so we live in this era where we are university administrators. And so as a university administrator, knowing the awakening of the citizens about their, civil rights, about their constitutional rights, then it is proper that we also arm ourselves so that we are not caught, we don't get ourselves wanted when we are faced with an legal issue. So shall we proceed? How do I? Okay, AI is not strong. Sorry. I want to get the slides. Yes, I'm. Okay, I think it's true. So, legalities. The university is a corporate body, and it is governed by regulatory framework. And so every decision that we take, it is not what an individual thinks he should take, but laws have already been made that regulate our actions. And so, as administrators, AI is giving me, okay, I wish I can use mine. Can I use mine? Okay. So, no, but I still want to use mine. So, can you, okay. So, the University of Cape Coast, like all public universities, operate within legal and regulatory framework that govern administrative decisions, governance, and stakeholders relations. So the laws that govern our activities include the 1992 Constitution. We have the University of Cape Coast Act 1992, and we have Education Regulatory Bodies Act. And this is where GTEC, takes its powers. And so, what are our stakeholders? Who are our stakeholders? So our stakeholders, we have the internal stakeholders, and we also have the external stakeholders. So internal, we have our council, university management, our faculties we serve, the staff of the university, students, labor unions on campus, and our alumni. Then our external stakeholders, we have the Ministry of Education, GTEC, our communities we serve, industry parties, partners, parents, and the public. These are our external stakeholders. So understanding the legalities of administration and effective stakeholder engagement is very vital for our work as university administrators. And this is to foster accountability, transparency, compliance with national laws and institutional policies. So, what is the source of our authority as university administrators? So we go straight to the Constitution, Article 1, Clause 1. And it says that the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana. So it is the people we are serving who wield the sovereign power. So if we are administrator, the source of our power is from the people we are serving. And so in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within limits laid down in the Constitution. So when we have power as university administrators, you must exercise those powers within the law itself, the limit stated in the law. We can't go beyond it. That's where, when we go beyond it, somebody who is affected and somebody who may not necessarily be affected can take us to court. So we have a university council taking a decision to refer petitions presented to university council to a committee to investigate and recommend solutions. Somebody who is not directly affected remotely says that the decision of council infringes on the university statute, and so he goes to court. And so every power we exercise, you must do so within the confines of our laws. Let's proceed. Now let's look at the constitutional right to tertiary education. So we are providing tertiary education services to the people of Ghana. And this is a right the Constitution has given to all citizens who are capable of pursuing university education. And so it is a mandate given to us. And it's not that we are doing somebody a favor. It's a constitutional mandate. The Constitution provides that all persons shall have the right to equal educational opportunities and facilities, and with a view to achieving the full realization of that right, higher education shall be made equally accessible to all on the basis of capacity by every appropriate means, and in particular by progressive introduction of free education. So what we are doing, what the services we are offering to the country is enshrined in the Constitution. Constitution says that all citizens have the right to university education. That's what we are providing. So it's not something we are doing somebody good. So University of Cape Coast has been established with its aims to provide tertiary education just as the Constitution has stated. So let's proceed. We know this one already. The aims of the University of Cape Coast, we have been established to provide higher education. So University of Cape Coast as a corporate body. So the law establishing the university stated that it shall continue to be a corporate person or this artificial person. So what it means is that the university can sue and be sued if we commit any infringement against a third party. That third party has the right to take us to court. In the same way, the university can also take someone to court if that person infringes on any right of the university. So corporate bodies act through natural person or a body of natural person. So university itself cannot walk to court, but it has to act through natural person like you and I. The university acts through its organs and principal offices. So we have the University Council, we have the Academic Board, the Chancellor, Chairman of University Council, the Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, and the Registrar. So these are the principal officers of the university whose actions are deemed to be the actions of the university. Then, Section 10 provides the functions of the University Council, which I think we know already. We can proceed. So then appointment of officers and staff of the university. So the Constitution gives the power to University Council to appoint other persons, officers, and staff of the university. So the act of the officers so appointed are deemed to be the act of the university. And so when you are an administrator, wherever you find yourself, when you are acting within the confines of the powers given to you by the university, your actions is deemed to be the action of the university. Then let's come to common issues in university administration. So the first one we look at is employment and labor issues. So you must have a fair understanding of what the labor law says. And we have a case that that was taken against the university at the Labor Commission, the case of Abdul Salam Osman versus the University of Cape Coast. This was a gentleman who has been appointed as a casual worker at the printing press. He was not given any appointment letter. According to him, the manager at the time promised him that he was going to make him a permanent employee. He worked. After 6 months, no letter had come. He continued working and agitating that where is the letter, appointment letter, making me a permanent staff. It never came. At a point in time, report says that he even shut down the machine. He was appointed as a machine operator. He shut down the machine and went home. We kept him over 2 years. All these 2 years, no appointment letter. So when misunderstanding ensued between him and other staff at the printing press, the printing press manager at the time told him that he had been dismissed. So he went to Labor Commission. And I was there with Mr. Afre. And I tell you, sometimes we feel embarrassed, the kind of questions they ask us when we go to court, as if we don't know what we are doing. So when he was narrating his story at the Labor Commission, he will ask, labor commission officers will ask, were you given a letter when you were employed? He said, no. Then they will come and turn and look at us. And it's as if we have dressed, come to defense some of these things. When you were dismissed, were you given a dismissal letter? He said, no. We also don't have dismissal letter from our side. And so, you see, these are basic things as administrators you must know that you can't appoint somebody to work as a casual worker for more than 6 months. The law presumes him to be a permanent staff once he exceeds 6 months. And here's the case. He has been working for the past more than 2.5 years without appointment letter. Almost 3 years, yes, without appointment letter. And he was also dismissed without dismissal letter. The Labor Act provides clearly. And so when you find us there, sometimes it is very embarrassing. And more so coming from a university. Yes. But I tell you, if it happens at your various offices, I'll make sure I will pull you to the court or the labor court, whatever. Yes, so I've been pulling director. I think director has been called, I've been in court before. Mr. Fred, Dr. Ampofu. All because of actions that happened in the various offices and they were sued. So I'll come and pull you to the court for you to go and talk when some of these things happen. Okay, so commission ruled that the commission has brought its ruling that the complainant is entitled to 2 weeks pay in lieu of notice. Because when you are dismissing somebody or terminating a contract of employment, you must give notice. Notice should be in writing. Then we should pay compensation for 5 months basic salary for unfair termination, then prorated leave for 2 years and 7 months committed into cash. This is the ruling which has been furnished to us because of somebody's action. Okay, so the legal issue, I think I've mentioned them. Can the printing press manager on his own employ casual worker beyond 6 months? Should the employment in the university be in writing or oral? Can the printing press manager orally terminate the appointment of a worker? Yes. Can he do so? Note, the action of the manager, whether sanctioned by management or otherwise, is deemed to be the action of the university. And so when you do so at your various corners and it goes to court, it is deemed as a university's action. The management might not have, sanctioned you to do so, but once you are acting or you were acting in your capacity as an administrator of the university, it is deemed as action of the university. Then student right and disciplinary issues. Yes, so on other legal issues, university administration, the student right and disciplinary issues. So they have the right to fair hearing. When you want to, the student commit any offense and you want to punish him, you must give him a hearing. There should be procedure for suspension, expulsion, or examination or practice must comply with the statute and regulations. Then data protection and confidentiality. This is also a very important matter that has come up recently. The Data Protection Act gives the authority to us as data, we call us data agent, right? Yes, we take information from people. But once we have taken them, we owe it a duty to those people to keep the information confidential. Recently at the hospital, somebody was diagnosed as having HIV. And there's this nurse who went on social media and he was talking, though he didn't mention the name, but he was narrating all the story that had happened to the man at the hospital. And so the children of this man learned it on social media and they are making a claim against the university, demanding a very huge compensation. It was saying about 2 million. It's a nurse here. Yes, a nurse and young had to engage the person. You see, sometimes some of the claims may be frivolous, but it is going to waste the university's time. We go, not all the cases that go to court, the parties win. But the amount of money we spend in litigation, if we had prevented it from occurring, the university would have saved a lot of money. For this case I mentioned, the printing press case, we went to Labour Commission in Accra several times. Look at the fuel we spend, the risk involved, the allowances the university has to pay. If somebody had done his work properly, we wouldn't have, had these kind of issues. So you must take care of the data. Once we have people's information with us, we must keep it as confidential, because the breach of confidentiality may attract civil or regulatory sanctions against the university. Then contractual obligations. Once we enter into contract with stakeholders, other contractors, you must respect what we have stated we will do in the contract. The intellectual property is also an issue in the university administration. Once we produce our